Jo, moin Leute, hier mal wieder ein Amateur-Radio an ARISS Schulkontakt. Diesmal mit einer kleinen Privatschule in Kalifornien, über Telebridge realisiert, wieder über Italien. India Kilo 1 Zulu Lima Delta, located in Norditalien. Zuhören wieder mal nur der Downlink von der ISS zur Erde. Die Fragen der Schüler sind nicht zu hören. Pipapo habe ich in anderen Videos alles schon mal erklärt. Jedenfalls hier für euch der Audio-Downlink. Viel Spaß und tschüss!
No, I was not a ham operator until I started training for this mission. I had a radio permit for other types of radios, but not for ham radios. But we had to study and take the test and become ham operators just like other ham operators do. Over. Good question. Well, the most effective way we change our path is we fire our thrusters on the Russian segment in the same direction that we're moving. And if we add 2 feet per second of velocity to our space station, then that boosts our altitude in the orbit on the other side by over a mile high. So by knowing where the collision is going to be closest or where the collision might occur, we change our velocity just at the right point to miss the debris in our orbit. Over. Isaac, we can go anywhere in the space station that we want to at any time. No clearance required anywhere. It's international, and it's really nice. Of course, we would need special permission to go outside the space station. Over. Well, I remember learning trigonometry and some types of algebra and wondering about those, but all of our orbits are all about angles and sines and cosines and circles, so our flight path around the Earth is made up of those things and combinations of them, so it's very important to me every day. Also, calculus is essential to spaceflight. We couldn't fly in space without it, and I don't use it, but Mission Control uses it every single day for us. Over. Tomorrow we have to learn how to use every tool that we might use outside, how to work in our spacesuit, which is very complicated. The spacesuit's like a little spacecraft that has air and cooling, electrical systems, communication systems, and a little jetpack in case we come loose from the space station. Also, we practice spacewalking underneath the water so that we can float in any orientation, just like we're in space. Over. Well, we tried to see it, Tyler, but we couldn't. They told us it would be a big dark splotch on the ground in the distance, like a shadow, but we really wanted to see it, but we couldn't. Over. Well, I haven't actually seen any aircraft, but you can see their contrails that they leave behind. It's valuable to us somewhat because you can tell when you're over continents and major cities. If you see a lot of them below you, you know you're somewhere near civilization. Over. Well, I think we'll be back on the moon with a habitation there. I hope the United States is part of the team because somebody in the world will do it. Perhaps we'll also have the technology to get to Mars quickly and start exploring there too. And maybe it won't take 40 years. Maybe it will just be 20. Who knows? Over. Well, sometimes it does, but we all study languages and be capable of speaking with each other. We have to be very careful. Usually when I talk to my cosmonaut crewmates, I speak Russian if I can, and then when they speak to me, they use English, and that works out pretty good. Over. So that's a very good question. I make mistakes and learn little things all the time. The other day I went to smell some Russian shampoo before I used it, and the bottle was just about empty. It had a little bit stuck in the bottom, so I held it under my nose and gave it a little squeeze. But there was some shampoo trapped in the top underneath the cap, so it shot up into my nose. That wasn't very good. I discovered that shampoo climbs right up into the caps of bottles in zero gravity and likes to hide there. Over. We have a lot of training before we come up here, Mary Grace. First we give it first aid. We can give CPR if we need it. We have a defibrillator on board to use if it's required. And then we have doctors on the ground to help us with anything we might need to do that's special. If it's really serious, we have a Soyuz spacecraft. We could just jump in it, fly it home. It's kind of like our lifeboat. Over. Yeah, very difficult. After my space shuttle flight, I had to really concentrate on not falling over for almost a whole day afterwards. But we have specialists on the ground to help us with our rehabilitation after we land. Over. Yeah, you can see shooting stars from the space station. There are some upcoming opportunities where I'm going to go look out the window and see if I can see some. It's really interesting here because remember the atmosphere is below us, so we see the shooting stars coming into the atmosphere below us instead of above us like you do. Over. They help a lot, but not completely, because the hard part is doing everyday tasks without the ground to provide your support, something to stand on and push against. That was what makes spaceflight hard. We don't get to practice that too much in the Vama Comet. Also, the short periods on the plane don't cause any bone or muscle problems like the long spaceflight does. But it's still very good training. Over. Well, I think I'm kind of living a great one right now. 5 months in weightlessness in outer space. But if I could pick my very favorite thing to do, I would think I would like to go to the moon, land near a habitation module and a moon lander, spend a few weeks there, and then come back home again to Earth. I think it would really be fun being in lunar gravity and making that trip to and from the moon. Over. Thank you very much. It was great talking to you today in California, and thanks Italy for passing us through. And it's great to have you all on board the space station with me. You have a great day. Over.
Okay, das war's.